And now, everyone, it is time that we will cap this episode off with the grand finale. And for this grand finale, well, I'm just going to go and get this out of the way. The best thing that I could go and say about it is that technically, this is not the worst news that happened in the past week. Ooh. In fact, it's already gotten me choked up right there. But anyways, back to what I was saying. The thing is that, yes, there have been worse things that did recently occur that I've already discussed about in this episode. Rather it be the passings of Jeff Garcia and Jim Ward on the same day due to health complications, the terrorist attack in Bondi, Australia, as well as the sudden passing of Rob Reiner. I think it is safe to say that those are significantly worse than what I'm about to talk about here. But that still doesn't change that what they're doing here is still kind of bad. And honestly, it's pretty crazy to see how Disney is just doubling down on this idea. And trust me, I do have some choice words that I would like to say here. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk about Disney's dumbest billion-dollar investment. Yes, specifically to go and read you here from my source on Variety, because they actually did put it best here. The Walt Disney Company and OpenAI reached an agreement for Disney to become the first major content licensing partner on Sora, OpenAI's short-form generative AI video platform, bringing the companies together to unlock new possibilities in imaginative storytelling, in which Disney has actually invested $1 billion for a 3-year deal with OpenAI in order to do this. What specifically? Well, to go and continue, it's the first instance of Disney licensing its intellectual property to an AI platform. As part of the 3-year licensing agreement, Sora will be able to generate short, user-prompt social videos that can be viewed and shared by fans from a set of more than 200 masked, animated, or creature characters from Disney, Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars, including costumes, props, vehicles, and iconic environments. In addition, ChatGPT images will be able to turn a few words typed in by a user into fully generative images in seconds, drawing from the same intellectual property. So that's pretty much the big deal that Disney wants to go and do with OpenAI. It's to go and really help out Sora in terms of generating their animated characters, or even just the characters that they own, regardless if they're from Disney Animation, if they're from Pixar, if they're from their live action films, if they're from Star Wars, if they're from Marvel, and so on and so forth. It is also worth noting, by the way, there is one part that I want to go and highlight here, because the article would then go and discuss about Disney and OpenAI's partnership and what they want to do to go and help each other out, including Disney wanting to see where else they can go and implement AI onto their business. Oops, sorry. Don't know if you heard that. But anyways, there is one part that I do want to go and highlight, by the way. And where is it? Yes, right over. No. What was it again? Fudge. I'm drawing a blank. I thought it was one thing, but then where is it? Yeah. Okay. It's right over here, actually. I think I went a little too quickly, but it is worth noting, and this is going to be something that I will be repeating here, that Disney said the agreement does not include any talent likenesses or voices. Furthermore, the pact does not allow OpenAI to use Disney intellectual property in the training of its AI models, nor does it link Sora users' account with any Disney accounts, including Disney+. Now, we also got a couple of quotes that I like to go and read you here. One being from the CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, in which he states right over here, technological innovation has continuously shaped the evolution of entertainment, bringing with it new ways to create and share great stories with the world, Iger said in a statement. The rapid advancement of artificial intelligence marks an important moment for our industry, and through this collaboration with OpenAI, we will thoughtfully and responsibly extend the reach of our storytelling through generative AI while respecting and protecting creators and their works. Well, which one is it, Bob? I don't think you can do both. Bringing together Disney's iconic stories and characters with OpenAI's groundbreaking technology puts imagination and creativity directly into the hands of Disney fans in ways we've never seen before, something you are going to massively regret, giving them richer and more personal ways to connect with the Disney characters and stories they love. And we also do have a quote here from the co-founder and CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, in which he states here, Disney is the global gold standard for storytelling, and we're excited to partner and allow Sora and ChatGPT images to expand the ways people create and experience great content. This agreement shows how AI companies and creative leaders can work together responsibly to promote innovation that benefits society, respect the importance of creativity, and help works reach vast new audiences. Now, this seems rather shocking that Disney would do, because lately, when we have been hearing news about the Walt Disney Company and AI, we have been hearing a lot about how Disney is actually going against those companies, specifically like going after them with lawsuits and even going after them with cease and desists. Now, yes, that is true, and even this article here actually did point that out. In which it went and stated right over here, on a separate front, amidst the dramatic rise of AI, Disney has unleashed its lawyers to go after tech companies it believes are stealing its IP. On Wednesday, Disney sent a cease and desist letter to Google, alleging Google's AI platforms have resulted in copyright infringement of Disney's IPs on a massive scale. Disney has sent similar legal notices to Meta and Character.ai, and Disney, together with NBC Universal and Warner Bros. Discovery, has filed a lawsuit on AI companies Midjourney and Minimax alleging copyright infringement. And that is the key word here. They're going after them for copyright infringement. It's not because they're against the technology itself. They're pretty much against other people using their property. And the thing with AI is that it's hard to really control their likenesses being used onto those kinds of technology. And that's kind of like that for me, I feel like is my personal theory as to why Disney is even doing this deal with OpenAI in the first place. It's the fact that what Disney wants is full-on control. In fact, Disney has been notorious with wanting control to ensure that everything just goes their way. And when it comes to AI, what Disney wants is that they want to be sure that they are in control of the way that their characters and the iconography of their properties are portrayed in a way that they specifically want. And from there, Disney also wants to make sure that they can also go and capitalize on it to make sure that their brand still stays fresh and it still remains the same and not be tainted in any other ways. And with the way that AI is right now, it could be extremely easy to do so. So that's what I believe is what Disney is trying to do with this whole $1 billion investment. It's the fact that what they want is control. Now, funny enough, though, quite recently, actually, I did talk about this with Anthony Gramuglia when he was in the podcast as a guest very recently, and we discussed about the whole thing with Disney thinking about the idea of having AI or having this Sora-like technology onto Disney Plus, and how much of a bad idea that this is. Because as much as Disney wants control over the way that their characters are portrayed with AI, it's pretty much impossible to do so. Even with the technology as is right now, what people are going to do is always push the limits no matter what. And this is going to be something that Disney will learn the hard way, because with the internet being the internet, just to go and repeat what me and Anthony have said recently, there will be those people who will go and test how far and how extreme they can go and get away with using Disney characters with AI. And of course, one of the first things they will go and do is try to be as explicit as possible. Rather it be with having the Disney princesses be on like crazy orgies, or have Stitch go and mutilate a known politician and just tearing him limb to limb in a really bloody and gory way. There will be those people who will go and really try that out with the Disney characters. They will try to experiment with the materials they provide, with how much they can go and get away with, until the technology itself would go and step in just to go and say no. So in that regards, it feels like a fight that no matter what, no matter how big the company is, and no matter how much money Disney is going to give them, they are going to lose. And this is not to mention the insane aspect of the fact that Disney is giving $1 billion to OpenAI just to go and do this senseless technology thing. Like, honestly, as a Disney fan, I can literally think of hundreds of things that Disney should do with the money instead. Like, there are plenty of other things where the money would have been better spent for things that fans have been demanding for so long, or things that could, actually benefit the company and actually benefit the people working there as well. Like, one example I can think of is that with that $1 billion, Disney could have fixed the Yeti. And for those of you who don't know, there's a popular meme amongst Disney adults where they would go and demand for Disney to go and fix the Yeti from the Animal Kingdom roller coaster Expedition Everest. Because when the ride opened back in 2006, there was a Yeti animatronic that's like really massive. And at the end of the ride, you would see the Yeti like come at you, like not touch you, but like you see it moving as it tries to grab you. But then not long afterwards, they decided that they don't want the Yeti to go and move, because then it would go and hurt the foundation of the attraction itself. So for many years now, they decided to go and turn it off completely. And instead, they decided to go and just portray the static Yeti with strobe lights, which is why the Yeti now has the nickname Disco Yeti. But still, it doesn't change that people have been demanding that Disney would go and fix the Yeti so that he could be moving again. And with that $1 billion, Disney could have honestly done that. Disney could have honestly used that $1 billion to not just fix the Yeti, but even just go and rebuild Expedition Everest from the ground up to make sure that the Yeti could go and work again. Like, trust me, $1 billion is more than enough to go and actually accomplish that task. Or even another example, they could go and bring back Journey into Imagination in its original glory, or even better than ever. They could bring back Dreamfinder. They could bring back Figment like how they used to be, even add in new scenes to that attraction to make the original Journey into Imagination bigger and better and no longer have to deal with what we got now with Dr. Nigel Channing and the misadventures that Figment would have where he would turn into a skunk and fart on the audience. Or even like in terms of animation, Disney could have used that $1 billion to invest it on other pieces of technology to go and create new visual styles that could really enhance the storytelling of what Disney animation or what Pixar could do. And I know that Disney and Pixar have been doing that. Like we've seen a little bit with what they have done with Wish, for example, or they even promised that they're going to do some of that with Gato in 2027. But still, though, like with that $1 billion, you could go and create new technology in order to go and present like these new wicked styles that we've never seen before, or could even surpass some of the things that Sony has done, like with Mitchell's or Spider-Verse or whatever. Like that $1 billion could have also been spent onto that as well. Or hell, you might as well go and like spend that $1 billion, like trying to think of another, or actually, you know what? You could have spent that $1 billion on your cast members, you know, bump up their salaries a little bit, make it a little bit more livable, you know, to actually, you know, give them a more livable wage. You know, that $1 billion could also be spent on that as well. The point that I'm making is that there are so many other things that Disney could go and spend. Or even another example, you could spend that $1 billion to bring back freaking Muppet Vision 3D. That's another idea that you could go and do. But the point that I'm making is that there are so many other things that Disney could go and do and spend that $1 billion elsewhere. I think what Disney ultimately lost with this is that they lost the ability to go and actually use budget as an excuse. They can no longer go and tell anyone like, oh, we cannot do that. It would be too expensive to do so. What the hell do you mean, Disney? You can most certainly go and you can definitely go and actually spend the money on that. If you could spend $1 billion on AI, then you could easily spend the money on anything else. So in that regards, I think Disney, you know, the thing is, Disney is still a very rich company. They still have over billions of dollars. And if they got money to burn that they could go and give to AI, they certainly have the money to go and give it to pretty much everything else at that point. But I will say, though, the thing is with all of this, like with the fact that now Disney is still going into AI, even though they do know how much people absolutely despise AI and that there can be an aspect where it can hurt part of their business, I think I'm pretty much at the point where I'm just going to say, honestly, if Disney really wants to use the AI technology, let them. And I'm not saying let them off the hook. What I'm saying is that let them learn the hard way of why this is a bad investment, and eventually that $1 billion is just as good as gone and they're going to get nothing in return, or worse, they're just going to be getting a lot of trouble in return. Basically, Disney is pretty much like that Neanderthal who would see a fire and they keep wanting to stick their hand to it. You could keep like reeling them back and try to explain to them that no, don't put your hand in the fire because it's going to burn and it will hurt. And it's not going to register in their head. So the best thing that you can do is just let them go and do it. Let them put their hand in the fire and let them learn the hard way that their hand is going to burn and that, yes, it will indeed hurt. I feel like that's right now the only way they are really going to learn. Because if they really want Disney characters to be used on Sora, oh boy, I don't think Disney is going to enjoy the results that they are going to have. Because again, with how the internet is going to be, there will be those people who will forever continue push the limits of what they can do with these Disney characters and make them be as explicit as possible, to the point that they're just going to keep on making them do things that are, well, I guess you could say off brand to the Disney image. And that's when Disney will have to go and reconsider. So overall, it's pretty much at the point where there's no point in lecturing Disney as to why this is a bad idea. Everybody knows for a fact that being involved with a horrible company like OpenAI and a very problematic CEO like Sam Altman, like, it's just a recipe for disaster. And honestly, if Disney is going to ignore it and they're just going to continue to pursue it, then you know what? Let them learn the hard way why this is going to be a billion dollar mistake. And if it will take $1 billion for Disney to realize, oh, that money is now completely gone, we are screwed, then at that point, it's probably for the best. Overall, that's what I'm hoping for. That honestly, you let them do it, you let them realize that it's a massive disaster, and you just hope that they're going to learn something out of it. All right, so with that said, now I would like to go onto the chat wall, and I'd like to ask you all, what do you think about Disney making $1 billion deal with OpenAI? What do you think the outcome is going to be, and how disastrous do you think it's going to be? Because I think it is safe to say I don't think there's going to be anyone in the chat wall who thinks that, no, I disagree with you, man. I think this is going to be a great thing that Disney will be teaming up with OpenAI. Nah, you're never going to see any of those comments. Trust me. All right, so let's see what we got here. Did Disney seriously not learn from the time they added Darth Vader chatbot in Fortnite? Like, what do they think is going to happen? It's going to be the second coming of Elsa Gate with the amount of cursed content that's going to come out of it. This just feels two-faced of them. Yeah, it definitely is. Like, oh boy. Yeah, again, like, it's a stupid move, but, you know, stupid moves cause stupid results. So you just have to hope for the best that Disney learns from the stupid results. Let's see now. This honestly makes me feel so upset. The fact that Disney would spend that kind of money to work with OpenAI is just awful. And because of this, how we'll see people do some of the most messed up things with their characters. And the only thing I see this is just backfire in their face. And this is just continuing to give Bob Iger and Disney a bad name. Seriously, between this and Jimmy Kimmel controversy, they have gained such a bad reputation this year. Yeah, a bit. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's like the worst, honestly, because I mean, Disney has recently had some great successes, like we've just seen with Zootopia 2, and there's probably another one coming very soon with Avatar: Fire and Ash. But still, though, yeah, I do get it. Like, there are some things, though, like with this and the Jimmy Kimmel controversy, when things got bad with Disney, it is a nightmare for their PR. Let's see now. Out of all the entertainment news this week, this has got to be the stupidest one of them all. Seriously, what does Disney benefit from this? And from the fact that they're spending $1 billion on this is ridiculous. Safe to say, I'm not on board with this deal. Although my highlight of this week's news was the Magic Tree House animated series. That sounds a lot better than this. All right, fair enough. Let's see now. Okay, I'll go. Wait, did I just... No, I just read that one. What has been going on with Disney with them this year? There are so many downs with them as a copy. I wonder which Disney story will be in your top 5 story this year. Also, not only this past week, Disney should have deserved this AI backlash, but I even say Time Magazine should as well, as they named AI the Person of the Year. Speaking of the attractions that you mentioned, I don't know if you answered this, but have you seen the Defunctland documentary on living characters? Yes, I have. And like I said to my friends, like we discussed this privately, but as a Disney fan, I don't need a 4-hour documentary to tell me that the Living Character Initiative is honestly full of crap. It's nothing but just broken dreams left and right. And even if Disney did announce that new walking Olaf animatronic, it does look impressive, I'll give them that. But how long is that going to last in the parks? I don't know. I feel like, honestly, when Disney promises stuff like this, like, oh, we're going to get walking animatronics. I'm just there like, yeah, I'll see it when I believe it, when I'll actually be there. Okay. Like, yeah, you could say that, but normally they don't last forever. In fact, they don't even last a year, let alone a month. Let's see. What else do we have here? All the nation levels of dough, and instead of supporting LGBTQ plus communities or actors and writers for substantial wages, Disney would rather fund AI thievery and carbon footprints that make NFTs look like septic tanks. We had a South Park episode that highlight how AI can be weaponized to generate revenge porn, sexual and violent alike. The protests akin to Jimmy Kimmel will be glorious. I don't know if it, I'll admit, I don't know if the backlash on this is going to be as big as the Jimmy Kimmel one, honestly. But there's no denying that there is backlash that they are getting for sure. And yeah, I forgot to go and mention that there are also a lot of people who are concerned about this, especially a lot of union groups, especially with SAG-AFTRA and the Animation Guild. They have also expressed a lot of their concerns about what this could mean about the works of their members. I know Disney did say that they're not going to be using the likenesses or the voices or whatever, but still though, it's can you really trust OpenAI for them not to go and copy those kinds of likenesses? It's yeah, Disney says so, but I don't know if that's going to be true. All right, I think I'm going to read one more comment and then we'll go and cap off this episode. Let's see now. I am disgusted that Disney is openly more investing into AI for their content. They could have spent their money over anything else besides AI, and this is going to end up backfiring the company even more, especially when compared to how they tried to cancel Jimmy Kimmel earlier this year. The more we see Bob Iger gone, the better. Glad I appeared on this episode while I'm on vacation at the moment, so I wish everybody, including you, Matt, a happy holidays. And with that said, folks, I think that is a very nice note to go and cap this off on.